Hello there guys and welcome to Singapore at the Marina Bay circuit. And we're here for round number 14 of the Stop Drop Gaming GP2 Championship. Here's a little teaser of what's to come for the race. But first of all, enjoy qualifying. So here we are then on our final run of qualifying after being in P5 out of just 7 runners after 3 joined after the qualifying session. Breaking into turn 1 just underneath the advertising hoardings before this difficult turn 2-3 complex. Running down underneath the Fly Emirates sign into again a difficult right-hander where you've got to use the curb on the outside and the inside before running out not too wide and opening DRS as early as possible. You run round the slight right king before dipping under the advertising hoardings once more, and as you can see I'm up on my previous time by nearly 3/10. Braking at the safety car board there and turning it in very nicely here. Got to be as smooth as possible on this lap at Singapore. It is very much a wheel track, and being a pad user it was always going to be difficult. So coming up to the new turn 10, which was redesigned for the 2013 Grand Prix, and riding it over those 2 curbs, which are very easy to earn a corner cut on actually. This hairpin is very, very difficult to negotiate, but I managed to get through it pretty well. And at this point, we're coming to the end of Sector 2. I am 1.3 seconds up on my previous time, so it was looking very, very good for a second row start at this point. May even be able to sneak onto the front row with a little bit of luck in this final sector, which I'm negotiating very well at the moment, not letting the tail step out there, and pretty much getting that corner as good as it can be, not cutting it too much. We don't want to cause too many risks on this lap, which is looking pretty good as we come into the final 2 corners, which we lift off very slightly in, and that was enough to take 3rd on the grid. Yeah, it was a very, very good session for myself, nearly getting on the front row of the grid. And with a 15% chance of rain, it was looking very, very interesting for the race with Paradise on pole, Mitchell 2nd, you can just see myself in the background in 3rd. Here's the race. Yep, it's race time, it's night time, and it's raining time. We're 3rd on the grid on the full wet tyres. Only a 15% chance of rain on the radar, so everybody electing for a dry setup. And this is it, lining up on the grid. Waiting a long time for the lights to come on, but we've got 3, 4, we've got 5 lights. And we're away, eventually, for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's round 14 of the championship. And we've got Paradise going very defensive into the first corner. If we get a good run, we might be able to get into the lead. But everybody's skipping that first turn as Mitchell on the inside. There was no way I was making that corner unless I dipped onto the inside of him. Everybody looks to be away cleanly at the moment as Mackenzie is just behind me. It's so difficult at the moment in these conditions as it looks as if there's one car gone off at the back of the pack. But we are easily maintaining 3rd position and we'll be looking to hunt down Mitchell in the next few laps. As we now skip to the end of lap 2, Mitchell struggling a huge amount on those wet tyres. He's obviously gone for a full dry setup. He actually laughed at me in the qualifying session, I believe it was, when I said there was a 15% chance of rain. But here we are now in the full wet conditions. I can't say that I was thinking anything different. But as we come towards the end of the lap, Mitchell definitely struggling at this point as he rides it over that curb, and I take P2. Opportunistic move, and now I use a little bit of my curves as Paradise sets the fastest lap, and there is certainly a lot going on around this grid as the next few laps were just about setting consistent times. As you can see, we just sort of ease through the laps as we're now on to lap number 5, the end of that lap. We're just putting in consistently good times, improving each time as we go. And now on lap 11, we've got Milk on our tail, Magic Milk. Our first real battle that we've had with him all season. He's in at a rapid rate at the moment. And we've got 32 seconds to Paradise. As at the end of lap 12, I decide that it's the end for these tyres and take a gamble to go onto the intermediate tyres. Earlier on in the lap, my engineer actually recommended something useful to me to tell me to go onto the intermediate tyres, and boy, I hope it pays off, because Milk has been terrorising me for the last few laps. I'm not sure what sort of assists he used, because I use the traction control, which burns up the tyres, especially when you're on the wets, and it's difficult for traction. I've also been running the standard revs. The low revs can be a little bit better on the tyres, but as we skip to the start of lap 14, Milk comes in a lap later. He believes it's time for the intermediate tyres now, and I managed to get the jump on him. It was just about the crossover as I came in, and now it's looking like an inspired decision. But for how long? Well, only at the end of lap 14, Milk was catching up to my tail, and as I set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, it was looking as if it was going to be a great battle for the rest of the race. So we come into turn 1 now. As you can see, I've set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and lap 16, towards the end, I make a mistake and Milk is actually through. Now this is not good for me, and it's going to be a long Grand Prix from now onwards. And if we cannot catch him, it is really going to be difficult to manage to keep this P3. But Mitchell nearly a minute behind, as I use all of my curves possible and dive down to turn 1 to get P2 back. Again, an opportunistic move. Singapore, one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, along with Monaco. I'm really enjoying these street tracks. And as we go down the inside of Milk, it just doesn't look as if it's going to come off. He managed to get us on the exit of turn 3, as the line was always going to be compromised when we dive down the inside. And that, I'm afraid, looks as if it's going to be it, as he bricks really early there, blocks off the move, and on lap 22, I come out on the prime tyres for the final 10 laps of the race. The track fully dried now. As you can see, there's a dry line in the middle of the track, and it was just sort of about maintaining position from now onwards. As you can see, the end of lap 23, Mitchell over a minute behind, and it was again just about maintaining the position. The next couple of laps were nothing special whatsoever, but yeah, I mean, it was just again about maintaining this P3, which I'd worked so hard for. And now as we come onto lap 31, the final lap of the Grand Prix, Milk a good 23 seconds ahead, but he actually fitted the option tyre with 10 laps to go, and there was surely no chance that he was going to get to the end. Somehow he's managed to do it, but he is losing buckets of time as Paradise comes through to win his 3rd race, I believe, of the season, after taking victories at Spa and Monza. So 3 in a row for him, but Milk, as my tyre is actually looking in decent nick, Milk is dropping a load of time, as you can see now. I'm up, and he's only 8 seconds ahead. He's had a big lock-up at the hairpin, and now this is a chance for me to maybe close in. I'm not sure at this point whether he has any penalties, but I'm going to be taking every risk possible to try and somehow get past him, as I can now see him. He's within about 3 or 4 seconds. We take everything off that corner. We didn't even do that in qualifying. But now, as we come through the final chicane on the lap, he has just about got enough traction. If it was a slower corner, we might have a chance. But on the run to the line, he just gets P2. And wow, what a race it was. So Paradise took out the win from Milk, with myself in 3rd place. Mitchell, a disappointing 4th place for him. And everybody else in the field got lapped, including Matt, who is currently 2nd in the championship, I believe. As now we skip to the podium celebrations. We've got Paradise on top of the podium. You can just about see me. But it was a great win for Paradise, his 3rd in a row. Until next time, guys, it's goodbye from me. Oh dear, Mitchell. Oh dear. Best forget about that one, eh?